let's quickly get to our first speaker. It is my pleasure to introduce to you Doris Chang, who will be speaking about something I think we can all use. Skillful Adaptation in a Chaotic World, What Taoism Has to Offer.
Okay, here we go. In 2009, I started, I need it. Is this the clicker? Okay, so in 2009, I started working with colleagues in China to import an indigenous psychotherapy to see if it might be an effective treatment for Chinese immigrants. Chinese Taoist cognitive psychotherapy was developed in the 1980s during China's economic reform period, a time of sweeping social and economic transformations, and therefore a time of great stress, anxiety, and uncertainty. I think we can relate to that. Overwhelmed by the flood of patients coming into their offices, two Chinese psychiatrists, Zhang Yalin and Doris Chang, found themselves turning to Taoist philosophy as a means of comforting their patients and offering them a way forward. Eventually, they formalized their approach into a structured cognitive therapy that guided patients in reappraising their stressful situations from the perspective of 8 Taoist principles. You see them here. And the most central of this treatment has to do with the concept of Wu Wei. So Wu Wei can be translated as actionless action or non-doing, and it's often associated with qualities of water, its forceful energy, as well as its yielding nature. So the idea is that we should all be striving to be like water. We should be pure, flexible, accommodating, but also exerting a soft kind of power. So a number of studies have been done on this approach in China. It's been found to significantly reduce anxiety, depression, somatoform disorders, et cetera. Our study here in New York found that it did significantly reduce anxiety and worry in a sample of recently arrived Chinese immigrants. We've also done a few other studies to understand the potential benefits of a Taoist worldview. In one study, recently arrived Chinese immigrant young adults preparing for the SAT scored significantly better on a reading comprehension task when the sample passage they read first was a Taoist parable compared to a Confucian parable. In another study of older Chinese immigrants, Taoist orientation buffered the effects of stressors such as missing loved ones at home or facing discrimination. So in other words, accepting that there's some things that are outside of our control and being strategic about where and when to invest our energies made immigrants more resilient in the face of acculturative stressors. So I'll leave you with a few strategies. The first, it's important that we accept what we can and cannot control. Secondly, take some time to analyze and clarify your goals, values, and your intentions. Third, try to assess without bias or distortion, very difficult these days, the reality of our situation, as well as assessing your capacities and the resources you have to bring to the situation. Fourth, act or don't act. This is the concept of Wu Wei, where you're strategically choosing to respond to the situation in a skillful way when the timing is right, and that might mean waiting to act. And finally, allow things to play out as they will, letting nature take its course. Thank you.